If you give me just a few minutes of your time, I'm gonna give you 6 whole years worth of college admissions knowledge that is gonna get you into your dream school. The lessons that I'm gonna be sharing with you today are the ones that got me into Harvard on a full ride scholarship and have helped countless of my students get into their dream schools with full scholarship funding. And this all came from me breaking down hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of Ivy League level applications. This video right here is the cheat code that I wish I had going through high school. No fluff, no generic advice, just the real roadmap that is going to take you from applicant to admit. And before we dive into today's video, if you want professional one-on-one support from myself and from my fellow Harvard alum and Yale MD PhD student Alessandro Hammond, then be sure to check out the link at the top of the description, because we will help you to get onto top research publications, create excellent extracurriculars, and ultimately get into your dream school. Okay, let's dive into this legendary video by explaining first when you should start preparing for college admissions. When it comes to college admissions, in essence, there is no such thing as preparing too early. The best time to start preparing for college was 12 months ago. The second best time is today, straight after this video. If you're in 9th or 10th grade, this is a golden window for you, because you can start to build the habits and the foundations that will be the backbone for your college application. During 9th and 10th grade, it's okay to fail because you still have time. You can join clubs and quit. You can launch a small project that doesn't work. You can pick a major, realize you don't like it, change it. The point is that you have time to build a foundation, experiment, and choose the things that are eventually going to shape your journey. I know right now some of you are probably thinking, oh, I don't want to start preparing too early and I want to enjoy my early schooling years. But I promise you, if this is your dream to get into a school like Harvard, you do not want to leave anything up to chance. The earlier you start, the more you can achieve, the more you can space things out, and the less you have to cram overall. With good time management as well, I promise you, you can have a life whilst also trying to get into your dream school. It is possible, you just need really, really good time management. Now, if you're in 11th or 12th grade, I don't want you to click off this video or start panicking, because you can still get into your dream school. You just need to be a little bit sharper with your moves. Unfortunately, you don't have the luxury anymore of dabbling in 10 different activities. You have to double down on one thing that is actually going to make you stand out and cut out everything else that is eating into your time. In 11th and 12th grade, admissions is not about being the busiest student, it's about being the most strategic one, by having one single spike that aligns with your future major and having that one single thing that is going to be the encapsulating point for your entire application. Next up, let's talk about academics. Grades matter, but what is so much more important is demonstrating rigor and growth in your academics. Colleges don't just want to see straight A's, they want to see that you are consistently challenging yourself based on your circumstances. If your school offers AP and IB classes, take as many of them as you possibly can manage. If your school doesn't offer those subjects, that's still not an excuse, unfortunately. You can enroll in online community college classes, online STEM programs such as edX or HarvardX. There are so many ways in which you can demonstrate your academic aptitude. But the main question that the college admissions officers will be asking themselves is, did the student take advantage of the opportunities that their high school had in regards to academics? Because academics is circumstantial. You don't choose which school you go to, your parents do, based on their socioeconomic status. So it's not your fault. The college admissions officers understand that. Just do the best you can given your circumstances. One other key thing that students forget about academics is your academics should align with your story and with your future major. If you're applying to computer science, don't fill your schedule with a bunch of random electives that give you an easy grade. Take math, physics, any CS courses that you can possibly get your hands on to show you that you're going down that academic trajectory. Now let's talk about extracurriculars, which is by far the most important part, but at a much higher and more strategic level than you'd usually see. The most common advice is to have a spike rather than being well-rounded. You know that, you've heard it a million times, I've even said it a million times, but let's get into some more specific advice. Gaining research publications that align with your future major, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to stand out in the admissions process. My company, Ivy League Consults, can help you to get into top research publications with Ivy League researchers, which you can check out in the description. But there is still the other, more difficult way, and it's still extremely viable, which is you email 200 to 300 researchers in your local area and ask them if you can join their research projects. Ideally, you want research projects that align with your future major, but honestly, any research projects is better than nothing. The second key extracurricular that I think is super underrated is competitive summer fellowships. So if you get into fellowships like MIT, RSI during your high school years, the Ivy League admissions officers will instantly recognize these programs and see your application as extremely promising. These programs are of course super difficult to get into. I work on these programs with a lot of my students, but regardless, you should research and apply to as many of these competitive summer fellowships as possible because the Ivy Leagues really look for these as ways in which you can stand out. The final point is building a non-profit or passion project that aligns with your future major. You can see with all the extracurriculars, I say the important point of aligning with your future major. So figure out what you want to study and then build as many passion projects or NGOs in your community that are driving tangible impact. If you're interested in environmental engineering, then build a technology, start an advocacy movement, or set up a waste management initiative in your local community. Find a community or national level problem that is related to your intended major and build a solution around it. It's super simple, guys. Next up is your personal statement. Your personal statement is not your brag sheet. It is a place to showcase your values through telling a compelling story. I want to emphasize it's about your values, not about your achievements. That's what your resume is for and every other part of your application is for. Having read hundreds of essays, in my opinion, the best essays are the ones that explain why you're passionate about an intended major or field. You know, it tells a really great story, but at the essence of it, it is explaining why you want to do that major. So if you're struggling for a structure, here's a great one. Start with your backstory, bring us into one defining moment that led you to discover your passion for a specific field like computer science or environmental engineering or whatever it may be. Then go into your stories about your impact, seeing a problem, finding a solution, seeing another problem, finding another solution. And then close out with the vision that you have for your life post-college, and that's going to help you to demonstrate why you're a great candidate for these universities. Problem, vision, connecting your story, that's what the personal statement is all about. As a final, really important point, I don't want you to underestimate the importance of your opening sentence. In a sea of hundreds of applications, your first sentence has to grab their attention, otherwise it's going in the bin. It's like the opening scene of a movie. If it doesn't hook you right away, you're not going to stay engaged for the next 2 hours, and you're probably just going to switch off and go to the next movie. Admissions officers are no different. They start reading your essay with a fresh mindset, and if your opening does not pull them in, they might skim read it and eventually just throw it in the bin. So make sure your first line counts. Now let's talk about your supplemental essays. For supplemental essays, you should use the past, present, and future framework, which is for each essay, start with a key event from your past, then explain where you are now in the present, and finally, how you plan to build upon that thing in the future. So let's apply this framework to an example, such as the extracurricular supplemental essay. Let's say your passion is playing varsity level soccer at your high school, and you have just 200 words to describe that passion. You should start with a defining moment from your childhood that ignited your passion for soccer, then talk about your achievements that you've had maybe at the state or national level in the sport, and then finally conclude your 200-word supplemental by talking about how you want to continue playing soccer at that college with their incredible program, and showcase that you've researched that program by talking about the opportunities they have in the soccer program, the great coaches, whatever it is, show that you've done your research. That is past, present, and future applied all into a cohesive narrative. For the why us supplemental essay, which is like why Harvard, why Stanford, the most important thing is just to show that you've done your research. It's really not about writing the best possible essay, it's about showing that you care about this school and have put in true effort. So every single line in your why us essay should be deeply researched. It shouldn't be like Stanford has a great cohort or Stanford has great research opportunities. You should be touching on specific professors, labs, sporting programs, anything that is going to align with your future vision. You should be doing the research and showcasing that you've done that. Next up is recommendation letters. For the recommendation letters, the key principle is to start early and give your referees as much time as possible and also as much information as possible. When you're emailing your referees, you should attach your resume, your personal statement that you've currently drafted, and then on top of that, have a bunch of key details that is your brags sheet. So talk about your grades, your academic achievements, your professional experiences, volunteering, awards, just any key experiences that you really want this referee to include. Most students will give their referees a brag sheet. That's pretty common, but the way in which you go above and beyond is to give them a letter of recommendation structure. When it comes to writing a great letter, the structure should be as follows. The first 2 paragraphs should introduce the referee's formal qualifications and give overarching statements that justify your eligibility for that school. Then, the rest of the first page should be dedicated to the recommender sharing anecdotes about their relationship with you and ways in which they've seen that you are an exceptional student or exceptional community member. And then this is the part that most students miss. On the second page, you should talk about how you embody the values of the school or the scholarship that you're applying for. So things such as leadership, academic excellence, empathy, whatever the values are that the school has listed on their website or the scholarship, you should aim to include those and explain how you embody those. This framework is going to help you get detailed letters that make you truly stand out. And so you should communicate a framework like this to your referees so that they're writing in this structure. The interview is the final filter. You've impressed them on paper and now they want to see that you are the kind of person that they want to have on their campus. For interviews at places like Harvard, your interviewer will rate you on a scale of 1 to 5 in the following categories: openness to new ideas, potential to contribute to college life, what kind of roommate you would be, extracurriculars and passions, love of learning, and intellectual curiosity and originality. The most important thing with your interview is to not be arrogant and to not memorize your answers. These things make you sound unrelatable and like a robot. So instead, just get comfortable talking about your journey in a more casual tone, why you chose your field, what challenges shaped you, and what excites you about the school and the program you want to study. And one final bonus tip is to really spend some time thinking of unique questions to ask the admissions officer. Ask about student culture, unique programs, lab opportunities, anything that is really going to showcase that you have truly done your research. And congratulations! If everything goes well, you'll be in your dream school in no time. Whether that's Harvard, Stanford, or any other dream school, all those years of hard work that you've put in have finally been validated, and you can finally relax for a couple months. And as we close out this video, if you want professional support from myself and my co-founder Alessandro getting into top research publications, building extracurriculars that actually stand out, and writing essays and giving interviews that are gonna actually get you in, then check out the link at the top of the description. Now go earn that acceptance letter with your name on it. Good luck!